Hey, long time no see. I have been so swamped with everything that's been going on with this whole COVID-19 thing. I work at a church, so everything we've been doing has been going completely online, and because of that, I've been super busy just making all the videos for our church stuff right now. So all the cycling videos have been on hold. But I'm starting to kind of get on top of things now, so hopefully start knocking out hopefully one video a week again. Anyways, today I'm coming back to you with one of my athletes again, Kyle. We've been kind of following a lot of his racing all year. Just want to say I got a couple of videos coming up with him that are super exciting, and he is currently, well, at the time of this video, he's currently a Cat 3, and this is a Cat 3 crit at the CBR series going on in SoCal. And basically his whole goal during this series was going after the green jersey. So the green jersey was awarded to the rider that came across the finish line the most times within our race. So each time he'd come around, you'd get points towards that green jersey. He was currently, I believe, just slightly out of the green jersey, but this race he was hoping to get back on top. Super interesting race, technical course. Position was key in this one, and let's dive in and see how Kyle did. All right, so this was a 50-minute crit. I can't remember how many miles they did, but start off, Kyle's in this race, and I think he's got two teammates with him, team 6. So one of them is just up there on the front in the black and kind of like a burgundy red, kind of an interesting like purplish red. I actually dig the faded look on the jerseys. This guy right here, Team Zwift on the right, I believe this is Matt. He's out of Fresno. He's a junior. He's a young buck. He's also a Cat 3 right now. One of his other teammates actually just moved up to Cat 2 back in February. McKay, he's out of Fresno too. Anyways, these guys are super talented. I hope they just keep riding well and keep staying consistent with training, and they'll get stronger and hopefully move up through the ranks and be racing with us too. But on top of this, let's just go through the course really quick. I couldn't get a course map up for some reason. It just wasn't working with me. But this course is interesting. It looks like it's kind of an uphill drag right here. And this course is actually kind of a little bit technical. But there's an uphill drag, and then I believe they're going into a left-hander. Actually, false. They're going into a right-hander. Uphill drag into a right-hander in this like business complex. And then eventually they have like a little out and back section. So so right here they're gonna go left, and this is kind of like it looks like a slight downhill out and back section. So they're gonna go out and they're gonna flip a U-turn, and they're gonna come back uphill. Now it looks pretty windy on the course as well. I don't know where the wind's coming from. If they have a tailwind maybe, or a headwind. Oh, here we go. Now they go right. Now this goes into the little U-turn section. It's also downhill. So not only do you go into this U-turn, this 180 turn, but you're also going to be coming back up that hill, and it's going to be pretty tough. Right here now, Kyle's teammate from his team, Team 6, moves to the front, and as you can see in the rear view camera, his other teammate is on his wheel. Basically, what they're looking to do is get to this corner first, which is awesome. Here's your little U-turn turnaround. But now it's kind of an uphill drag back out of this section. And his teammate's going to drill it. Kyle's going to be right there. His other teammate is on his wheel, and I think what they are doing for the first lap is a fantastic job. Basically, they are just opening it up, and they're going to string this thing out, and they're gonna put people in the hurt locker early. And also, the thing about this race is Kyle is going for the green jersey in this series of CBR races. So the green jersey is basically a point system, and the first rider across the line gets a point. And if you can do that every single lap, you start racking up points, and eventually you're in the green jersey. So that was Kyle's goal. I can't remember if he had the green jersey on right now or not, but aside from that, he's been either in the lead or in second place. So he's going for that again. Man, that is a long uphill drag out of that corner, and your team is just drilling. Love this. This is definitely going to make it hard for everyone else. This is great because, I mean, I don't know how long you guys can keep this up, but you could keep this up. I mean, you guys are single file, strung out. It looked like it was windy with the way those cones were blowing, even getting blown over. A lot of uphill drag in some of these sections. So this is good stuff. And then of course they deliver Kyle perfectly at the line first lap, and he takes the precious points. Then what he's gonna do is he's just gonna pull off, because like that's all he wants to do, is he wants to grab those points, and now he's gonna pull off and he's gonna go back and he's gonna sit in. Because they do have the sprinter on their team who I believe was also in kind of the running for the yellow. So that's kind of who they're setting up the victory for. Now the yellow being the overall winner, you know, based off of each race. So I think they had a teammate who was almost in the lead, but with that they were gonna end up working for him at the end for the sprint. So now his teammate goes off the front. Same guy that just did a huge dig. Now his teammate comes off the front. Kyle jumps on his wheel, and as you can see in the rear view camera, they actually got some daylight. Now this is super weird. Two teammates off the front together. Like honestly, the field is not gonna let that go. They're gonna be super motivated to pull it back. But it's also kind of cool that you're up the road with your teammate, and you automatically know that you both are willing to work. You both are willing to go all in. Now we're only on lap 2, but you know, that's what we got going on, and that's totally fine. So they're working together, and honestly, I mean, they're not gonna last, but that's completely okay. It's an interesting dynamic. It's very hard to get, you know, a break established with you and a teammate, or even if you stack the break with some teammates, it's sometimes hard, but it also depends on how the field reacts. Now we skip forward, not that much further into the race. We're about 2.5 miles into the race. This is important on this course. This U-turn section, you always want to be top 5 into this turn, because when you guys come out of it and it's being uphill, you guys punch it hard. And because of that, if you're further in the back, there's gonna be this slinky effect. So see, you're already halfway through the turn. If you look in the rear camera, they're still going into the turn as a pack. Like they're still not through the corner. Like, do you see how much of a difference it makes to be on the front? Now you're on the front, you're leading this charge, so when the front starts to ease up, the back is still gonna be catching up and they're still gonna be flying. So this is perfect. You always wanna try to be top 5, top 10, into that corner, because the exit out of it can be very explosive and it's that uphill drag. And if you are too far back, I mean, look, they are strung out, and if you are too far back coming out of that corner, you're gonna have a massive accordion effect where you all kind of bunch up and then they explode out, and then next thing you know, you're getting just totally whipped out the back. And what happens is people in front of you might start to fade, and they're gonna end up letting gaps open. Then you're gonna have to burn matches to get around them, to close those gaps. Like, that's just what happens. Even if you're like mid-pack, that can happen. Now we fast forward again, we're about 3.5 miles in. I can't remember what happens here. Anyways, his teammate is right up there towards the front, doing a good job, patrolling, keeping things together. This corner, again, a little far back coming into this corner, but it's completely okay. Oh, this is what happens. So, the one thing about racing is you need to learn how to bump and how to be comfortable with that and not overreact. So right here, crash in that corner. I mean, honestly, that was probably gonna happen. It's a tough corner. So what we have is right here, let's break it down. Guy in orange bumps this dude. The dude overreacts and swings super wide, right? Saves it, doesn't go, okay? He saves it right here. Now all he has to do is just apply his brakes and go straight, but he overreacts, and now he comes back all the way to the right, swinging in too hot to make the corner, realizes his mistake, tries slamming on the brakes, skids out, might blow his tire, and then he goes down. Luckily, I think he is the only person that went down in that crash, and Kyle, you did a fantastic job at avoiding it. But something to work on is get used to contact, get used to bumping. Had he been used to contact and got bumped right there, he probably wouldn't have overreacted, which then caused him to overreact coming back in way too hot and way too aggressive, and he ended up locking up his rear and losing it. So practice bump skills, things like that. In the P12s, we bump all the time. A lot of times we'll bump to hold our position. It's It's a skill that you need to learn and not be afraid. When someone taps you, you don't have to freak out and move, but rather just kind of stay where you are and let it happen. That's part of racing. And honestly, he could have avoided if he would just kind of held his ground and been okay. But again, coming into this corner, top 5 is huge. So you're not top 5, but you're kind of close to top 10. But see how they explode out of it and this gap opens up. So now you're forced to really kind of chase through this gap. That's why you want to be top 5. And now look, another gap has opened up because this guy's not willing to chase the ball back. And now you got those guys just ripping up the road. Luckily, you got this guy in front of you, and you are very smart about using people now to get across. You realize he's starting to fade and you can close that. So you come around him and you punch it. See, he can't even hold your wheel really. Honestly, that's good stuff, Kyle. That's excellent how you want to do that. But that's how you could have saved a lot more energy during this race, is just making sure that you're in the top, top 5 to top 10 coming out of that corner. Right there, you're probably top 15. But look, even 15, it was a little far back. And even people up here up the road are kind of blowing up because it is an uphill drag out of that. Now, the good thing about that corner is it's a downhill into that corner. So if there was space, you could always just kind of punch it on the outside or the inside and move up a little bit and then just slam on your brakes at the end to make the corner. That would have given you good ability to move up to be in that top 5 every time. Now, you guys got a gap again, which I think is crazy. We think we saw this guy in Victorville. This dude is pretty strong. I can't remember what you said his name was. We did that race together. But he's pretty strong, and you come across the line, he goes. I was just kind of curious why you let his wheel go. I feel like you know him and know his strengths. I mean, you guys are 13 miles into this race, which this race is probably about 25 miles or so. I don't know. Just kind of curious on that one. You probably could have followed his wheel. I mean, it's not a bad thing you didn't. He went solo, obviously, so he's going to get brought back. But now you got the field chasing hard, too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you didn't lose out on it. But, just maybe ask yourself, what made you not follow his wheel? What made you not stick on his wheel? Was it because you came out of that corner and you got a little bit gassed and just weren't feeling it? Like, that's totally fine, too. But just think about those things. If someone goes off the front and you're on their wheel and you get a gap, I mean, that is a free ride. At that point, you see, within the next corner or two, if the brake actually is established, then you can start working pretty hard and see if you can stick that thing. So, just keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. Now, over here, we fast forward, and now we're about 16 and a half miles into this race. This is a tough course. Okay, so you guys are going into a headwind here. So you hit this U-turn, and you have a tailwind coming out of it, but it is an uphill drag. So you got 2 guys off the front. I mean, you're a little far back, but honestly, you're still in decent position. Not too bad. Everyone is kind of staying together. Not too many gaps are opening up here. So that's a good thing. And I'm sure as the race went on, you guys didn't come out of that corner as fast. Although there are guys up the road. So that guy went right there. And then this guy goes, and I feel like you wanted to follow them, but you didn't follow them initially. And then luckily another guy comes out of the field, and you can jump on his wheel and start saving watts. But just a little curious, if you see those 2 guys going and there's a group like that up the road, dude, totally use that as a bridge effort. Like, use that. Don't hesitate. I could kind of get the sense you were hesitating. I mean, honestly, this is a tough course too. So, I mean, if you're feeling a little gas coming out of there, I totally get it as well. But those are easy opportunities to kind of use to bridge across. Luckily, this guy in front of you did all the work for you, even though you hesitated on those first 2 guys. The third guy actually did a good job at bringing you back up here. And then, you're here with the group. And then, of course, you're going for the green jersey, right? So the first across the line. You got those 2 guys that started sprinting on the back left behind you. They just weren't getting it, though. You're doing a nice job on the uphill drag to the line here. And then right here, you get your valuable points. So that's an overall good job. It worked out for you in the end. So nothing real bad there. Just kind of think about it next time. You see 2 guys go to a bridge move like that. Like the first guy, I saw you let him go. That's totally fine. The second guy goes. That's a missed opportunity to jump on a free wheel and get a free ride up. It worked out in the end though. You guys ended up catching them, and you're still up there, so that's all good. But in the P12s, we definitely look for stuff like that. I know I do. Miles does on our team. Greg and Nick and Tyler. I mean, we all look for those type of opportunities. If we miss the break, we'll do that. And right here, your teammate does a fantastic job at covering this move. Now, this is how teams should be racing. Someone goes off the front like that, you're not represented. You attack across, gets that move, make the rest of the field chase. You're sitting top 5. You're saving energy. You're in the draft. You're feeling good. Like that's what you need to do. That is racing 101. Always be racing forward. Super important. Never want to be racing backwards. Always want to be going forward. Right there, your team was racing forward by sending a guy off the front and covered that move. I think that was great. I mean, it's late in the race. You're about 20 miles into the race. That was a good move to follow. Yeah, you guys might have brought him back, but still, who knows if it would have actually stuck or not. So kudos to you guys. There's still guys solo off the front. Get it. But yeah, I mean, that's textbook. That's how you want to race as a team. And then ideally, like when that gets brought back, if someone else goes, you or your other teammate want to go with that move too, and you just want to keep counterattacking. And hopefully something like that will just kind of open up and allow you to get away. But again, you're doing a good job coming into this turnaround up here, this U-turn. You're doing a good job being in the top 5. See, as we come out of this corner, it's gonna make it way easier to now accelerate and stay at the front. See, you come out of the corner, yeah, you're still pushing big watts, but now you're actually coming around the guys because you're actually at the front and you're kind of fresh, and now you got strung out. The pack is definitely getting whittled down because of the technicality of this course. So you guys are working with a tailwind right now, so you're going to turn left into more of an uphill drag, and then you're going to be full on crosswind. So you want to be echeloning left to right, but it makes it hard because people are going to ride those cones, so then you can't really echelon left to right, especially right here. You're probably going to catch a wind right there. So if you're going to move up and you have that tailwind or that crosswind right now, I would have gone right, moved up on the right, but that's totally fine. Also, this is the last lap for the sprint, so be alert. When that guy in blue went, you should have went over to the right and immediately followed him. What happened was you end up getting gapped. You're going into kind of a head tailwind or a head crosswind now, and you got gapped. Gaps opened up. You lost the draft. It's super hard to keep going forward when you lose the draft. Other people are going to be easily coming around you. Obviously, you sat up right here, but you just made one little mistake when that dude in the blue tacked on the right. The wheel in front of you, you should have definitely stayed on. Even if it hurts, stay on, stay in that draft. And then when you came into the sprint, man, just unload it and you would have got top 5. So there you have it, my boy Kyle. Another race in the books. Man, that was a tough one. Again, the technicality of the course really made it a tough race. He definitely raced it, rather conservatively and aggressively at the same time. Saw your team on the front multiple times, which I thought was super good. You guys could have definitely maybe even split the field a little bit, but it looked like a lot of guys that started the race didn't finish that race. So that's a good thing. And on top of that, you went on to race the P123 race later, so obviously you still had some in the tank for that. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. As always, just keep riding your bikes, training hard, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.